"You old woman, run after me and get your money back, if you can," and laughed as she walked away. Once upon a time, in the town of Dodowa, there was a little girl named Ejewa. Ejewa was known throughout the entire town as a very troublesome and disrespectful girl. She was a bully. She beat up both the men and the women. She was very popular and people feared her. She was a rascal, known as a very notorious girl by everyone in the village. Even as a teenager, the mention of her name brought fear to people. She often caused trouble, especially with older people, and many spoke poorly of her. Her behavior gave her parents many headaches, and they often had to apologize and pay fines when she was summoned to the chief's palace for her actions. One hot afternoon, Ejewa saw a blind old woman sitting under a mahogany tree, begging for alms. The kind townspeople had given the old woman some money and coins. Sneakily, Ejewa ran up to the old woman and stole all her money. The blind woman tried to chase after Ejewa, but fell down on the ground, and so she couldn't catch her. Instead, she called out, "Bring back my money, you naughty girl." But Ejewa just laughed and shouted back, "You old woman, run after me and get your money back, if you can," and laughed as she walked away. The old woman was very hurt and cried out. She was really upset. She cursed Ejewa after her act of wickedness toward her. Ejewa just laughed and didn't care. She even came back another day, teasing the old woman by saying she had bought ice cream with the stolen money. Years passed, and Ejewa grew up. She got married to a man named Kofi and settled down. But even as a wife, she was troublesome and disrespectful. After 10 years of marriage, there was no issue. They longed to carry their kids, but they weren't forthcoming. Things were not working well for her and her husband Kofi. They struggled to make things happen. They couldn't keep a job. Money was always an issue. There was one health problem to another. They visited many places for solution, but to no avail. After 15 years of marriage, they finally had a set of twin girls. They were very happy, but their bundle of joy had finally arrived. But after a few months, they started noticing that the kids were blind. They noticed that their twin babies could not see. The couple were very worried. They visited different places for solution, but to no avail. As the kids grew older, their sight became darker. Their parents were tired of going to places and had already been given up finding solution for their blind kids. It was already 3 years and the kids were enrolled in a blind school. This tripled the stress of Ejewa and Kofi. One day, one of the neighbors referred them to a church, saying the pastor could help them. "Stop going to these places you've been going to. Try God and you will never regret it." They went to seek the pastor for counseling and prayers the following week. While the prayers were going on, the man of God saw the cause of their problem in a revelation. He asked Ejewa, "Do you remember an old blind beggar who you stole money from many years ago?" Initially, Ejewa couldn't recollect such incidents. The man of God further went on to explain some of the events that occurred that day. "The woman tried chasing you but fell down. She cried and laid a curse on you, but she laughed and walked away. You even told her that you used her money to buy ice cream the next day. That old woman is the curse of your problem. But it was a deserved curse, so that's why you've been struggling. The lack, the health issues, your kids' blindness, all are part of the curse. The old woman said, you will not know peace, and tears will not leave your house. Ejiwa broke down in tears and regretted all her actions as a child. But it was too late. The curse was already in place. The man of God said to Ejiwa, the only way to break the curse is to look for that old woman and apologize to her. What if she's dead now? Ejiwa asked, crying. Well, I don't know for now, but I believe she's not dead. God is keeping her for a day like this. Ejiwa continued to cry uncontrollably because the incident happened many years ago. When she was much younger, she said to herself, where am I going to look for this woman? Only God knows if she's still alive or in this town. The couple began their journey in search of the old blind woman. They would be informed she lived in a particular town. When they got there to search for her, they would not find her. They were given so many wrong information that at some point, the couple almost gave up. They traveled from far and near, village to village. They were directed to another neighboring town, and they were informed that she had moved out of this town to stay with her daughter. After 6 months of searching, they were able to locate the old blind woman. When they arrived, the old woman was brought out of her room. She was well stricken in age. Ejiwa narrated the entire incident to the old woman to see if she could recollect. The old woman told her to leave and that she would never return. But after much pleading, the old woman took a big sigh and allowed her to sit again. Ejiwa cheerfully apologized for stealing the money and for being mean to her. Ejiwa went on to explain that she was much younger then and did not know any better. The old woman, remembering her own pain, was moved by Ejiwa's sincere apology. Ejiwa beckoned the old woman to reverse the curse placed on her. I have suffered. Nothing is working. I gave birth about 15 years of marriage, and my twins are both blind for 3 years now. The old woman placed her hands on Ejiwa's shoulders and prayed, forgiving her. She promised that in 7 days, the twins' eyesight will be restored. Before the couple left the old woman's house, they left behind food items, along with some money in an envelope. The woman accepted the items. Ejiwa and Kofi were anxious but hopeful. On the 7th day, they checked on their twins and, to their great relief, found the girl's eyesight was restored. Ejiwa was very thankful and promised never to do wrong again. She taught her children to be kind, respectful, and never to take what doesn't belong to them. Never tease anyone in life. From then on, Ejiwa became a peaceful and respectful person, and everyone in Dodowa noticed the change in her. The moral of the story is that always be kind and respectful to others, no matter who they are. Bad actions can have long-lasting consequences, and it's important to treat everyone with kindness and respect. Kindly tell me where you're watching from. Tell me what you have learned from this story. Thank you.